السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة. أما بعد, جزاكم الله خير. My dear respect brothers and sisters, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide all of us, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to confirm us in our faith, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to show us the pathway toward Him. Brothers and sisters, as we continue to talk about the amazing book of Imam al-Qayyim, Ad-Da' wad-Dawa, we're here, we talk about a new chapter where we have been talking about for some times how to attain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how to attain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what are some of the barriers that prevent an individual from attaining the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And last time we spoke about ad-deen, and what is the word deen is. And part of that is that you would have to, part of following the deen is that you have to put aside your shahawat, your desires. And today we're going to be talking about, brothers and sisters, one of the greatest desire that almost no one is free from being tested with. Almost no one is free from tested with this desire. Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says one of the greatest desires that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have put in son of Adam is that the feeling, or the feeling attractive to the opposite gender. And what are some of the things, what are some of the sexual things that human beings are being attracted to? Is either the opposite gender, and this is the normal human being, or homosexuality, and we're going to be talking about that inshallah later. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have addressed these two desires in the Quran. He talked about, when it comes to homosexuality, he spoke about the people of Lut, Sayyidina Lut and his people. And when it comes to attractiveness to the opposite gender, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given us an amazing story, an amazing reflection that many people should think about. Is the story of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, when he was tested with the wife of Al-Aziz, or the wife of the king of Egypt. And if it wasn't for the fact that Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was strong enough, and because of and if it wasn't for the fact that he seeked the aid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would otherwise failed. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given him the strength and given him the power and given him the iman for him to overcome that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So the brothers and sisters, this is nothing, no one should think that this is something that should be neglected, or something that easy anybody can anybody can pass. No, this is something extremely difficult, and people have to take it seriously, because this challenge exists, and each one of us will be tested with this in one way or another, because this is part of the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created son of Adam. It's the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created all human beings, that a man is attracted to a woman and a woman is attracted to a man. And if someone does not have patience, and if someone does not have the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would fail. No matter how strong you think you are. So therefore, it's important, brothers and sisters, for us to think about this, and prepare yourself to this, and don't put yourself in a situation where you can be exposed, or you don't put yourself in a situation where you could fail the exam. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was a special scenario, and he was put in such a difficult situation, but even with that, he passed. And if the same scenario that Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was put in, many people, I would say the majority of the people, would have failed. The majority of the people is going to fail. Why? Because there are so many things that Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pleased with him, have talked about, that makes it very difficult for someone to pass that test. Make it very difficult. So, brothers and sisters, it's important that part of this prevention, part of it, that you don't put yourself in this situation. يعني when someone will say, "Wallahi, I was tested and with loving a woman that who is يعني I'm not married to." Okay, how did you get to that point? You talk to her, you you messaged her, you spoke over the phone with her, you met her, you sat with her alone. You see, now with all of that, so this and that's what Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said, brothers and sisters, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Don't follow the footsteps of the shaitan. Because the shaitan is going to tell you, nothing is going to happen. It's just a talk. It's just a message. It's just a short meeting. It's just a touch. It's just a look. You know? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا, and that you shouldn't be getting closer to zina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا zina. Don't get close to zina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say, don't commit zina. They said, he didn't say, do not commit zina. He said, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا إِنَّهُ كَانَ فَاحِشَةً وَسَاءَ سَبِيلًا. And this is a pure sin and whatever lead to it. So it's gonna, for someone to commit zina, adultery, it's gonna take him a pathway. He's gonna have to go through so many steps to get to that. So, brothers and sisters, it's important. It's important that we don't put ourselves in a situation that make us vulnerable for us to commit zina. Because once you are put in a situation of vulnerability, no, very few people can succeed from not committing that fahisha. Very few people. So, brother and sister, Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala believes with him what he said. He said there are almost 13 or 14 points that made it easy for Sayyidina Yusuf to commit this munkar. Make it easy for him. And subhanallah, if one of these 13, if an average person was exposed not just to 13 reasons, if someone was exposed to one of these 13, maybe he would commit a zina without even thinking about it. But Sayyidina Yusuf salam, he went through a major test. And he had 13 or 14 reasons for him to commit that. So let's go through these reasons that were easy, that made it easy for any individual to commit the zina. He said the very first thing, Ibn al-Qayyim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, he said the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have, the very first reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made attractiveness between a man and a woman. And this is normal for a man to like a woman and for a woman to like a man. And this is like, this is part of our nature of liking the opposite gender. It's part of our nature. Yeah, just like when someone likes to drink water, when you are thirsty, you like to drink water. Same thing, human beings like to be with opposite gender. And that's why it's important that for individual that this door should not be open unless it's open through a legitimate means, like through your wife, with your wife and etc. But for someone to say, "Wallahi, I'm going to talk to this girl and talk to this woman, and nothing is going to happen," you are lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself. So, brothers, this is important for us to don't open this door. Do not open this door. Because some people, and believe it or not, brothers and sisters, some people can abstain from drinking water or eating, but they could not abstain from seeing the opposite gender. This is true. Wallahi, it's true. Some people can be patient from eating and drinking, but they cannot resist when they are put in front of a woman. So this is because why? Of the strong attractiveness that they might have. And this is something nature. It's part of our nature. Yeah, don't for someone who say, "Wallahi, I'm gonna treat her, she's like my sister." You're lying. She's not your sister in Islam, but she's not. Don't say, I'm gonna shake hand with her and hug her because I treat her like my sister. She is not your sister. So, brothers and sisters, do not open this door. And that is the way the shaitan would try to legitimate things for you. Oh, nothing is going to happen. She's close relative. No. You are putting water beside, you're putting gasoline beside the fire, and it will eventually burn. So for you to say nothing is going to happen, no, you are lying to yourself, and things will happen. So that's the very first thing. Is what the first reason. What makes it easy for Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam to commit this, the fact that there is natural attraction that exists between opposite gender. The second thing is Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam was a young man. Sayyidina Yusuf was a young man that he have strong desires, and the younger you are, the stronger desire you have. Like for instance, if someone is getting old, like he is 60 or 70 years old, this desire tend to go away, or gradually would go away. And the younger you are, the more desires that you have. So as Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, he was young, so meaning he had very high desire, and it's normal for any young individual. So that's the second reason. So Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, natural attractiveness, he was young, okay, and also he was single. He was not married. And of course, this married person, because he's able to fulfill his desires, have have less desire than a single person, because a single person, he's not married, and he's going to he have this gap within himself. He have his emptiness, that he wants to fulfill his desires by being with a woman. So that's another reason. So Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam was what? Was a single man. So three reasons. The fourth reason, he was a strange man. He was a strange man. What does it mean, a strange man? Meaning that he was in an environment where no one recognizes you. Like for instance, if someone like around did something within his village, people easily could snitch on him, tell him, oh, by the way, I'm gonna tell your father, or your mother is gonna, or your father or mother eventually is going to find out. So he's afraid, if it's a reputation, that if he did something, that somebody's gonna report him to his family or something. But when you are a stranger in a society, you're not gonna have that fear. So no matter what you do, no one's gonna report you. No matter what you do, you're not gonna harm your reputation. So Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam was what? Was a strange person in a place where no one recognized him. So that's another dafi'. He was he was in a place where he would not know. The fifth reason Ibn al-Qayyim says that the wife of Al-Aziz, Imrat Al-Aziz, she was a beautiful woman. And not only that, a beautiful woman with a status. So imagine, you are a young man, natural attractiveness, you're a single, you're in a strange city, and the woman right across of you, she's high status, and she was beautiful. Subhanallah, look at now how the test is getting the more difficult and more difficult. The sixth reason is that she was not, Imrat al-Aziz, she was not refusing him. Subhanallah, nowadays, like for instance, if someone wanted to flirt with a girl, or he wanted to go out with a girl, he might ask her, and she might accept or refuse, right? Because again, some of the blame can be on the woman, because if a woman refuses, she refuses. Most guys would, like, for instance, would turn them off. Okay, but if a woman opened the door, she said, yes, I exchange numbers. So she's opening the door for him. But what happened? So what happened? The wife of Al-Aziz, she had an open door for him. She was not refusing. She was accepting. And for a lot of guys, and this is kind of psychological also for the men, that they would turn away from a woman, or they'd be turned off when a woman who reject them. That's purely psychological. Maybe the guys would understand, but not so much the women. But and some people might not reattempt. Some people have maybe the urge, or the they're stubborn, and they wanted to try again. But many guys there, and once they're turned off, and somebody you got a rejection, you will give up, and khalas, it's more forward. So what happened? But in this situation, she was she was accepting him. She was accepting him. The seventh reason is uh, um, not only she was accepting, she was the one who initiated. Yeah, there is a difference when someone, for instance, guys, woman accepts the date, or she agreed to go out, or she agreed she likes you, but a whole different level if the woman who is the one who initiated. That makes it even easier for a man to go out with her, and she's the one who, yani, she's the one who went forth and planned, and yeah, she struggled for this meeting to happen. She prepared the prayer room, she closed the door, she put down the blinds, so she could, وغلقت الابواب وقالت هيت لك. Yeah, she closed the doors, and she wanted to, and she exposed herself to him. So she's the one who initiated. That's the seventh reason. The eighth reason, she was under, يعني her authority and her house. Yeah, subhanallah. um, Again, when someone, for instance, is يعني it makes it easier for a guy to mate or to be with a woman when she is the one who, يعني she's in control. So she's in control. She's the one who initiating. It's her house, and which makes it easier for her. Nothing would, yeah, nothing would object, and nothing would be a barrier, because everything is laid forth for her. Okay, so that even makes it more easier for Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam to commit a sin. The ninth reason, um, that she would not, that al-Wife al-Aziz, she would not, يعني no one, um, يعني she planned it so well that no one would know. She planned it so well that no one would know, because, like I said, her house. She was the one asking under her authority, and not only that, she planned it so well. Like, she closed the doors and everything. She planned it so well, so it would be a smooth, task to happen. Okay. The tenth reason. Okay, he was a servant. He was a servant, and he was abd. He was a slave. So, and when you are a slave and you're given an order, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to obey. Okay, but yeah, which make it even more difficult for him to say no. So he was a slave. He was her slave. Subhanallah. And even with that, he refused, and he was able to control himself. The 11th reasons, okay, that she not only, with all the things that I mentioned in the past, she also planned it so well that she had, when she brought the other women, to see Sayyidina Yusuf. She brought the other women to see Sayyidina Yusuf, and she was so trickery, that she wanted to seduce him so well by asking the other women to see him, and influence him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَإِلَّا تَصْرِفْ عَنِّي كَيْدَهُنَّ أَصْبُ إِلَيْهِنَّ وَأَكُن مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, he said, Ya Rabbi, if you don't, move away, you move them away from me, then I will fall, and then I'll be among the ignorant. But yeah, subhanallah, as Ibn Qayyim, he said, إن استعانت عليه بأئمة المكر والاحتيال. She seeked the aid of other people against him. He seeked the aid of other people against him. Not only her plan, but other people too. Other people too. The 12th reason, that she warned him, and she threatened him that she will punish him. She said, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to throw you in jail. If you don't listen to me, she said, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to throw you in jail. Subhanallah. All these reasons. The 13th reason, that her husband did not care. Her husband was like a man who was like, we call the youth. A man who is the youth. He have absolute no jealousy. A normal man, when he see his wife, a normal man, when he see his wife, يعني, seducing other individuals, he maybe he become and he would become like a volcano. Any guy with normal hormones, he would become like a volcano. Like, how come this happening to my wife? And he may be going to a fight, and normal jealousy. Any human being would do this, and he might strike a fight or something. How come my wife is cheating on me? But the man was the youth. He did not have no jealousy, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reflected on that in the Quran. And when الملك came along and he was exposed to the situation, he said أعرض عن هذا, just don't do it again, naughty wife, don't do it again, واستغفري لذنبك, go seek forgiveness. What kind of what kind of man is this? He's telling أعرض عن هذا, oh, stop it, go seek forgiveness. استغفري ذنبك إنك كنت من الخاطئين, you were a wrongdoer. What kind of man is this? So subhanallah, again, that's like another excuse for a normal man to commit this, For subhanallah, brothers and sisters, all of this, and like I said, this is what 13 reasons that made it easier for Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi to commit this. But even with that, he was strong enough, and he was had so much faith that he was able to be successful in not falling into this trap. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if it wasn't, if it wasn't for the fact that he Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aided him and he strengthened in Iman, he would have fallen. So brothers and sisters, this is important. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam had 13 reasons to fall into this trap, but he didn't. And unfortunately, to an average person nowadays, if you give just one excuse, it will be a reason for him to commit that. So don't say, Wallahi, I can't. So see, the issue here, brothers and sisters, again, number one is that you don't put yourself in a situation. You don't put yourself in any of these 13 situations. And second thing is that even if you put in, remember Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, what he went through. Remember that Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam had 13 reasons for him to commit, but he didn't. And that show the strength of Iman. And that's the kind of stuff that we're looking for, brothers and sisters. And that's what some of the reasons that you have to think about as an individual that would not make it easy for you to commit this sin. So, brothers and sisters, inshallah, this is some of the things that we need to think about. And inshallah, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the power and the iman for us to commit this again. جزاكم الله خير لاستماعكم. سبحانك وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب اليك. والعصر ان الانسان لفي خسر الا الذين عملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.